What's a trade secret you know from working the industry? If you ship through FedEx Express, if you're sending many packages/envelopes to a single stop, ship one priority overnight and the rest standard. They'll be delivered together with the priority package. Debt collector here. Always request validation of debt. You'd be surprised how many accounts just disappear due to poor bookkeeping. Worst possible secret. I worked in the main shipping warehouse for a popular lingerie chain. I processed returns. We were trained to use tape to extract pubes from used underwear, and then repack it as new. I quit after 2 months, not for me. A resistor is made in Japan. It is wrapped in plastic and shipped to Michigan. It's installed into a small PCB. It is wrapped in plastic and shipped to Taiwan. That PCB is installed via sideboard connector onto a larger PCB. It is shipped to China. That PCB is installed in a small housing via harness. It is shipped to India. That housing has its microchips programmed and the outside is given a chemical treatment. It is shipped back to Michigan. The housing is now treated and installed into a car side mirror. It is shipped to Ohio. The side mirror is run through a post-production sort program to check for defects. It is shipped to Detroit. It is installed onto a car. Every single step of that shipping, every single component is wrapped in plastics. Millions of them per car, to over half a dozen locations each. Something like 50 million cars are produced each year. Your straws aren't doing shit for the use of plastics. Automotive production and diagnostics engineer. All emergency rooms are not equal emergency rooms. In my hospital, we don't have any sort of OB, pediatrics or any of that. Whoever a kid comes in or worse a baby, the nurses and doctors are all in a panic. Not because they're incompetent but because that's not what our hospital does regularly. Sure, we will stabilize to the best of our ability and we will immediately call the local children's hospital. But if you have a child, for example, in distress, and you have multiple hospitals nearby, try being aware beforehand which one is the best for yours or your child's needs. You don't want to rush into an ER where there isn't someone who can confidently and effectively treat you. Worked in high-end golf clubs for years. Almost all politicians register their handicap scores under a false name. The USGA handicap records are technically public information, and people would be pretty pissed if they knew how much time these guys actually spend playing golf. Tourism industry here. Look up when peak season is for the destination you're looking at. There are usually cheaper prices at the beginning and end of the season. Try to book at the beginning of the season. Seasonal workers work themselves ragged and are usually completely burned out at the end. At the beginning of the season, everyone is stoked to start making money again. Most electronic medical records allow providers to put pop-up warnings in your chart if you act verbally or physically aggressive. If you yelled at the ER nurse in 2017, the medical assistant you called today begging for a last-minute appointment can see it. Some musicians use a teleprompter so they don't forget their lyrics during concerts. I know this because I did it for a few years. My boss ran teleprompter for Tom Petty for over a decade leading up to his death. It is a strange, very small community of teleprompters in music. I've gotten a few messages asking which rap artist I used to tour with. Nas. Movie industry. Unless you are absolutely breathtaking in your audition, which does happen, don't get me wrong, there is a list of 30 people each studio prioritizes to be in their major films. If you are buying software for your workplace, get a quote and then go silent until it's the end of the quarter. Then call the sales rep and tell them you can buy it today, but only have enough budget for 70% of the cost. Your chances for a discount go way up at the end of the quarter. That the reason why celebrities always look good in whatever they wear is that the clothing is tailored to their exact measurements. Shoppers will buy the size closest to, take it to someone to alter, and then deliver it. Yes, even the t-shirts. At any given point in time, roughly 10 to 20% of the entire internet has a dev team in an absolute panic state. The websites you use for every aspect of your life are held together with duct tape and shoestrings. Used to work for a famous energy drink company. One that claims their product works for 5 hours. Anyway, most of the proprietary energy ingredients included in the shots are in such small quantities that they're completely useless. The only ingredient capable of doing anything is the caffeine. The others were sometimes less than 1% of the dose needed to have any effect. Essentially a huge waste of materials. I've worked in high-end rugs. 1. If you own a hand-knotted rug, don't bother getting it professionally cleaned. If it's just wool, It probably is. Take a pressure washer and some rug shampoo to it if you like, not necessary unless there's some stains. Knotted rugs are super strong and can take it. I know someone who has a high-end cleaning business and this is what they do and charge $1 for this service. 2. 100% wool rugs that you see in stores, IKEA, West Elm, Crate, and Barrel, etc. are made with blended wool. Which is fine, but it is just lower quality wool and will shed. New Zealand wool is what you want and has to be advertised as such. 2. Hand-tufted rugs are okay if you can't spend more than like 2 or 3K for an 8x10. These rugs will have a fabric backing as the fibers are glued down in the back instead of knotted in place, so the fibers will come loose and they're likely made with blended wool. Don't spend thousands on a tufted rug. 3. Never buy a rug with viscose in it, also called banana silk or art silk. It may be okay for bedrooms or low traffic areas but is a pain in the ass to clean. You can't spot clean a stain, you have to get the whole thing cleaned by a professional. It stains easily. Stains on wool can be spot cleaned. 4. Low on money? Your best bet may be a flat woven rug in wool. Flat weaves can be decently hard wearing. You can flip it because it looks identical on the other side, and are often thin enough and if small enough to fit, can be thrown on the delicate cycle in the wash. Lots of flat weaves out there, they're popular and not so expensive. Don't buy polyester or machine-made rug please. They tend to look like shit easier and are harder to clean. Most fossils in museums are replicas. These days they're usually plastic casts from silicone molds of real fossils, but 3D printed replicas made from high-resolution scans are becoming more and more a part of things. For every publicly announced data breach, whether that be a confirmed leak, or the identification of a security flaw, there are 50 other such incidents that companies swept under the rug. Data security is complicated, and most organizations don't have the proper expertise to secure their data. Not sure if any of this is a secret, but if you can't find a book at your local library, ask the reference librarian to do an interlibrary loan. They have access to large networks of libraries that are able and willing to share materials, sometimes even across state lines depending on the sort of library and request. Also utilize the digital content. We have to pay big bucks and fight with publishing companies to get that content, ebooks, audiobooks, etc., and they are great resources. Libby and Overdrive are awesome. Many library systems also offer streaming content of movies and TV shows. Oh, and you can check out national park passes and museum tickets too at many libraries. As an HVAC mechanical engineer, if you tell us you don't care about a brand, it'll open up an entire industry of options. Almost all packaged equipment has the same efficiency and warranty, but some brands just cost way more than others because of whatever internal proprietary controls they have or inflated egos or whatnot. I can design you a system for 30 to 50% less sometimes if you give me the flexibility to do so. I can also show you a comparison to prove to you that two systems of different costs will operate equally. I should add, that a good/ethical engineer, engineering sales, should also keep in mind maintenance, dimensions, fitment, and overall longevity of the unit. And they should have in-depth discussions with their customers. Lowest equipment cost does not always equal longest lifespan. I'm just talking about operational comparisons. When you play match 3 games, like Candy Crush Saga, after beating a few levels the game will make it impossible for you to continue, you will be getting impossible odds. If you put your device aside and return after several hours or a day later, you will find the previously impossible level to be easy AF. It is a mechanism to prevent people from burning through hundreds of levels in one go. When moving into a new rental, before you move anything in, take a video of your walkthrough and mention and point out everything and anything. Mark the date, time, and address. If they give you a small form to write on, make your own. This can save you lots of issues when you move out. In recording studios, very rarely is a vocal sung all the way through. What you're hearing is each line punched in individually. Almost always. In real estate, open houses are primarily to get more leads and clients for the agents hosting the open house, not to get your house sold. When you order at a drive-thru, the microphone stays on until you move forward. So everyone inside the store with a headset on can hear your conversation until you leave the ordering area. Edit. Wow. This blew up while I was at work. Thank you for watching Reddit Stories. May you and your loved ones have a blessed day.